Hi, today we're drawing My Little Pony. So grab a piece of paper and your favorite pencil and I'll see you in the art room. Welcome. So we are going to be drawing My Little Pony today. And before I start, I'm just going to briefly put this down right here and tell you a little bit about how you can find me. I am at www.futurepicassos.com. You can email me at info@futurepicassos.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, Future Picassos. And if you're here, you're on my YouTube channel. So please remember to hit like and subscribe. Also, everything that I draw comes from suggestions. So if you would like to tell me or ask me, give me a subject, you can reach me at info@futurepicassos.com. Send me an email and say, hey, Kathy, I really like Baby Yoda, or hey, Kathy, I really like Wonder Woman. All of those subjects we have done before during my classes on Saturday, but I'm happy to draw them again. So if you also would like to sign up for a free class, just go to my website, futurepicassos.com. I have classes every Saturday free to the first 250 signups. And those classes are an hour and 15 minutes long, and they are live over Zoom. So let's get started. My Little Pony. How I like to start is I take a piece of heavyweight drawing paper from my sketchbook. I like to use a mixed media sketchbook. I'll show it to you. It's called it's just this mixed media sketchbook. As you can see, it's full of sketches. It's amazing. It is a heavyweight paper, 9x12, 98-pound paper. I love this paper because I can erase on it, scribble on it, do all kinds of things on it, and it doesn't seem to disappear or break, and it has a very nice finish. If all you have is regular copy paper and you're following along, that is fine too. So the first thing I do is I take a ruler and I grid out my paper horizontally and vertically. I also do that to the drawing that I am going to be working from. This drawing is a drawing or a copy of My Little Pony. Pretty simple, pretty cute. I was asked to draw this by a few of my students, so I figured it'd be a great little YouTube video. So I start by gridding it out so I can put this image from here over to here. And I tend to start the same way in these drawing tutorials. I measure using my fingers or a ruler, or I just kind of eyeball it. The beautiful thing about the video is that you can stop at any time and rewind or replay or do whatever you want. You could watch it once and then do it after that. It's pretty self-explanatory. So when I look at a drawing, I break things down into shape. So I no longer see this as a pony or a character. I see it as a shape. And I tend to like go in with my pencil and just look and say, okay, this is a good shape. This is a good shape. This is a good shape. These are the legs and the rest of it. So looking at this like that, and just how I did those three shapes, I'm going to start here with that shape. Once I get all of the shapes in there in a very generic, abstract way, then I'm going to go back in and finesse the lines. So I kind of sketch out the placement and then I put it all together. After I put it all together, I then take some time inking. Inking is either with a Sharpie, a Micron pen, or I have these Faber-Castell, they're artist brush pens. I like these a lot, but mine are dying, but I'll probably end up using them because they make really great lines. And you can ink with whatever you have. I don't recommend going in with a fat Sharpie, just because if you don't have the fine motor skills, you could really, you could take a drawing that was fantastic and mess it up pretty quickly. And we do not want to do that. Okay, so here's the middle of my page, right? I'm going to measure over about 3 fingers. It's a little less than 3 of my fingers. And I'm just going to put a line right about right here. And this is kind of where this is how long I want my pony to come out. And it's about 2 fingers up over here. So I know that I'm going to end up making a shape that kind of comes down and over. But I'm going to turn this into an oval. So this oval is going to go up about 2.5 fingers high, and it's going to come down about 1 finger lower. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to put an oval here, and I'm going to make it pretty up and down. I'm going to ignore this line right here just to kind of get everything in, to get my pony situated. It's kind of like a unicorn pony, so I like unicorns. So from right here to right about right here, 1 finger over, I'm going to make another oval, and it's going to be about 1.5 inches down. I tend to I'm not going to look at it as what it is. I'm going to look at it just as a shape. So I'm not going to talk about my little ponies at all. I'm just going to have fond memories that my children loved to play with these things, and I actually have a few of them myself. So I'm going to make another shape like this, knowing that this shape will change, and it's very generic as we put this in. So this is another oval right here. When I'm drawing these shapes, I do it very fluidly, and I call this finding the shape, right? The next shape is going to be this head shape up here, and it's going to go right about right here, and it's going to come over to right about right here, and it's going to go to right about right here. Again, keep in mind that once you put the hair in, a lot of this shape becomes much smaller. So this shape is going to look like this. So in finding the shape, you have to keep in mind that as you draw, your shapes are going to evolve, right? This is just a very generic placement of where you want things to go. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the legs. Now the legs, I'm going to measure from the bottom up. It's a little bit more than 3 inches, 3 fingers. So I'm just going to put a line right here. Now this is where I want the legs to come down. If I kind of draw a line across here, I can tell. So I tend to always draw a little bit bigger than I measure, just because that's just the way it works. It works out for me. Depending on how you draw, is how you draw. I just don't like teeny tiny things when we're trying to see big shapes, right? So the next shape is going to be, I'm going to kind of start looking at this shape right here because I like it as we're laying it out. So this is going to come down and around, and it might change. So don't hold this like as exact, right? So then this shape is going to come down, and it's going to go right about right here. And that's going to be my beginning of my first leg. And I'm just going to kind of abandon it a little bit and know that it kind of comes up and over. So when drawing these leg shapes, what's going to be really important is the positive and negative spaces. And those are the spaces in between what we're drawing. So before I go crazy with the legs, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to look at the back leg as if I were drawing a horse, right? I know that this back leg is going to have, it's going to come around, and I'm just looking at where the shape edges off, comes down and around like this. And then this leg comes down. And again, I'm still sketching. I'm not I call it total married or totally devoted to any one shape that I'm making. I know that I can go back in and change the lines at any point, just because that's just the way it works with these things. You have to give yourself freedom to change what you're doing and erase so they evolve. And that's with any drawing that you're doing, whether it be copying something like this or drawing from life. It's always an evolution. Okay, so here's the start of this leg, right? Very sketchy, but there's the start. And obviously the guidelines get erased eventually. But what's important to me right here is how this comes down and over. And then right in here, I have a wisp of a shape that looks like this. And that is the back. This is this shape right here, which is a negative space. It's actually a little thinner. So it kind of comes around like this. Now, looking at negative and positive spaces when you're drawing is very important skill to have. It helps you measure out where you want things to go in space. So if I look at my guideline, I know that I am going to want to have, this line is going to be a little different. It's going to be angled more, but my leg is going to come down right about like this. And then it's going to come down. Now I'm looking at this triangle right here. It's going to come down like this and over. And then it's going to be a little shorter in the back. And when I'm looking at my spaces and my legs, I can then make adjustments for whatever I'm drawing. I don't have to be quote unquote married to what the shape is. I'm just going to keep kind of moving through. Now I'm already looking at this. I'm like, oh, it's way too fat. It's okay. It's easy for you to trim your characters so they lose a little bit of weight along the way. So I have this leg kind of started right here, right? And then, so the next thing I want to look at is this shape right here. And what does that look like? It kind of looks like this, and this might make this, so I have to move this over. That's okay. So I have this shape that comes down like this, and then this shape that comes down. This leg comes in front a little bit, and then this comes like this. So in sketching, the reason why I like to ink at the end is because you can kind of fill in and finesse your shapes and make your lines cleaner. And it becomes kind of an important part of the drawing. So as you can see, as I'm moving across my drawing, I'm changing things, because it's not just like put this line here and then do this. You have to kind of practice finding what you're doing based on how you're seeing things. And that's where it can get messy. So then over here, this shape is going to come down here like this, and then go over, and then come across. So that is a start to what I want my legs to look like. Pretty easy, right? Okay, so this, I'm not, and all the details is something I'm going to do at the very end. So this is a little thinner. So her neck comes up and around like this. And then she does have her hair which starts about right here and comes down like that. So all of these markings I'm going to ignore until later, right? So then her tail, I'm going to finish off this over here. I know that her tail, if I look at this space in here, the back end of her hair, and I'm looking at this shape right here, comes down and around like this. Now, when you're drawing, since you're training to see the shapes with your eyes, it's really important to keep in mind that the way you see is different from the way I see, and everybody sees a little bit differently. So this is like a gym exercise. We're just working out in the gym. We're training our eyes and our brain to see differently. So if you don't get it the same way I get it, that's okay, right? And I say that over and over again because this is pretty objective. Maybe you don't want to make it exactly like mine. Maybe you want to change it a little bit. So coming up here, then this shape is going to come around like this for hair. And then this is going to come down like this. And then this is going to loop around like this. And we're just getting it in. So don't worry if, and I know I say, don't worry if it's not perfect a lot, but I know how people are, and I know how much pressure one puts on themselves to make things perfect in their eyes, which is not a bad way to be, but you can put a lot of false expectations onto yourself. And then I'm going to put this like this. And so that is a start of that. And that's the hair. So remember, at any time you can kind of turn around and take your time, turn around, rewind, stop, fast forward, take your time to kind of find these shapes. Again, we're just laying it out. It's not the final go. It's just kind of, the preliminary stages of what we're doing. So if this line comes up here like this, right about right here to right here, we're going to have an ear situation that comes up and over like this. And that is going to be the first ear of the pony to the back of the head, like that. So the hair kind of gets in the way, right? So I'm going to put that in so I can see it. My face is going to start up here, the bottom end of my chin, and it's going to come around to right about right here. So it's going to come around and up, and then this is going to come up like this. And then my nose is going to come up like that. And now she looks like a very cute deer. Just kidding. The eye, I'm going to look at this eye shape just like a big circle. And I know that it takes up a fair amount of space, like so. I'm just going to put it in kind of like a giant oval. So then the hair, I know this comes up, and then my hairline comes pretty close to my eye, like that. And then it's going to swirl around like that. And might be a little shorter. So then this comes down and around, and then this comes up, down, down, kind of like that. Okay, so in here now, let's put in the back part of our hair. So we see this piece right here, and then this is going to come around. You kind of have to understand that our hair is going to end up wrapping around in here, and then we'll fix this in a minute, but it's one big swoop. So it starts there, and then it swoops around like that. And then this curl, see how this curl goes? Let's put that in like this. So I do want you to know that when I look to draw the subject matters, I just kind of look at the drawing. I don't really do so much practicing beforehand. I just kind of go for it because I like to get the benefit out of the brain training. I like to kind of see, what I can do with it. Okay, so that's really that hair right there. And then right here, this piece comes over like that, this line right here. And I'm just going to erase that. Let's go down here first. So this comes out and there's a little line like that right there. And then right from here, right about here, this comes out like this. So when my kids were little, they played with Littlest Pet Shops. They did play with My Little Ponies, but not as much as My Littlest Pet Shops. So I probably end up drawing some of those characters too. And then this I'm going to change. So this comes down. So practicing drawing, whether it be sketching like this or doing a full scale value drawing, makes us better painters, makes us better artists. I think that drawing is really important. You have to love to draw and sketch. You don't have to love to draw and sketch, but I think it's important to love and sketch things and draw things and see if you're interested in this kind of thing. But I also find it like going to the gym. It's very meditative. It's relaxing. It's nice to challenge yourself. So I am going to put this unicorn shape in. So from right here to right here, I'm going to make a line like that. And then from right here to right here, I'm going to make another line like that. And I'll say it again. It's not completely perfect, but that's okay. And right behind this shape, there's kind of like this, I don't even know what this is, but it goes up like this and then down. And actually, if I look at my drawing correctly, this is like this. And there's a very back end of this shape. It might be a crown. I don't know what it is, but it's there. Okay. So that now we have to do the wings. So the first wing, and I'm not even going to think about it as a wing, but I know it is a wing. That is going to come up to right about right here. So this shape is going to come up like this. And then it is going to curve around like that. And then it comes up and out. Now, I'm not putting in all of my details yet because I'm going to get the other shape in before I put in details. And then this comes off the back and up like so. And not like that. Okay, so now that we have everything laid out, we can go back in and finesse, use my pencil sharpener and finesse everything. And I'm going to start back here with the wings. So as far as the details on the body of the pony, I'm going to keep it really simple. And you can change it if you want to make your pony however you want to make your pony. You don't have to do what I do. But I am going to clean up my lines. And, you know, as I'm going through this already, I can see where it's not exact, but I like the shapes, so I'm not really changing that much. So I was gonna say my fur, my tail comes up here. My wing is gonna start right about right here. And this is gonna come up like this. And then it's gonna start to wrap around. So I have 1, 2, and then 3. And then this one gets a little bit bigger. 4, 5. And so this comes up. And these are almost the same height. So this comes up like that. And then this is kind of pointy like that, which makes sense. So I'm just looking at what I see and kind of focusing on what I see. And that's what we're doing when we're drawing. We're just focusing on what we see. Not what you think it looks like. It's like, how do you see it? Okay, so that is part of the wing. Now inside the wing here, it has a little detail. And that detail comes up and then wraps around. And then wraps and has a little 1, 2, 3. Little detail like that. Pony details. And then let's do the other wing. Up, following the line up, around, down, and it's a little pointy. And then that looks good. So there we have our wings. So then our back tail, I mean, I made my tail, it's a little more poofy than the one over there, but I like it, so I'm going to leave it like that. So this tail shape, I'm going to clean it up a little bit. That goes around like that. And then this comes around like this. And that looks very nice. So here I have my 1 foot. And then my 2nd foot. I did spend a little bit of time on these legs, so they look pretty good. They do have these little markings on there, which I'm going to do in a minute. They kind of remind me of bell-bottom pants. And then this leg is behind. So this comes around. And then this comes down, around. Like that. So I'm going to sharpen my pencil. Let's put these little flames on it, on the legs. So up, flame, flame. It's almost like decorations on cowboy boots. Around and over. And then up, down, and around. And then this one is just going to be like this. And then this one like that. That looks pretty good. So over here, we can put this bib on our pony. So collar, collar, and then there's a moon right here. And over here, there's an oval right there. And then on the back, there's another moon. It's almost like a flower pattern. And then our moon is right here, like that. And you would then color that in. Ooh, I'm saving the best for last. So up here, let's start the eye. So sometimes when I do the eyes for anything, I like to take a scrap piece of paper and I like to look at what I'm doing. So there's my eye shape. I like to make a little sketch. So here's my eye shape, but I know it's kind of more of an oval. And I know that my eye is going to be like an eyelid that comes out like this. And then in here, there's going to be a circle. And you're like, that looks like scribbles, Miss Kathy, and a circle. And a big highlight for the inside of the eye. And then another circle. And this comes down like this. And then some back eyelashes. And then this comes like this. Okay, so I get it. All right, so let's try to do that up here. So in my oval, on the top of this, from right here to right here, I'm going to put a line like that. And then I am going to thicken it a little bit. And then I'm going to make it come off the page. And then she has big false eyelashes on. And then I'm going to put some eyelashes in there. So this back side of the eye is going to come around like this. And then this middle part, which will look better when I outline it, is going to be like that. Right in here is going to be a giant light mark, followed by another one of those. And then right here is a little bit of a value change. Maybe if this is where you want to make her have, you can make it another color or something. And so then back here, where our hair is, it gets kind of messy when you're rubbing over it with your hand all the time. So back here, she's got 1, 2, 3 eyelashes. And that's an eyelash right there. And then right here, you want to make a smile. And then you want to make another little moon shape for the nose. And there you have it. You have your pony. So this is when you go in and you say, I like this, I like that, I don't like that. And I'm going to fix that line. And so as you can see, it's kind of messy because I have rubbed my hands all over it. But this is where I like to go in. I actually left off these little spots over here. I like to go in and ink. Now I could ink with my pens make different lines, right? So if I look at my pen, this pen makes this line. It's kind of thick. This pen it's brushier, makes that line. I like this one. This pen makes this line. I also like that one. This pen is a Sharpie. Oh, you can't see. Sorry, this is a Sharpie. Makes pretty thin lines. And then this is a micron pen. Makes lines like that. So I think I am going to go with the micron, which is this one. And maybe that one or this one. I'm going to go with this one and the micron. So when inking, the idea is that I'm going to eventually, I'm going to eventually get rid of my lines and I'm going to erase. So I just want to make sure that I take my time inking, and this becomes a whole different meditative process, and then I can color in. Now, the key is that I really take my time. So I fix any line that I don't like. And I also don't make any mistakes that I don't mean to make. So I can then go in and color it in and do what I want with my drawing. So I actually am going to pause it, and then I'm going to come back in a minute while I ink it. So I don't make the video super long. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I inked my drawing, and I actually did a little bit more than I would have probably done in real life. I got carried away. Well, actually, I would probably color it in and make it all rainbow and whatnot, but I'm just going to leave it like this. I did ink in the parts to kind of match what I was doing on the other side, and I started having fun, mainly because I wasn't talking. And sometimes if you're not talking, you get carried away. But I think it looks really good. And so I hope that you enjoyed this drawing of My Little Pony, and I would love to see your drawings. So where do you, how does that happen? So what you do is, if you drew this and you'd like to send it to me, send me an email to info@futurepicassos.com or leave me a comment. My website is futurepicassos.com. Hit like and subscribe. Please leave comments. Also, I do drawings for you. So if you say, hey, I love Kermit the Frog, or I really want to draw a Sesame Street character, or I really like this character, or can we draw the Pink Panther, or whatever you want. Send me an email and tell me what you want, and I'll put it up here on as fast as I can, or I'll get it done. So thank you so much for drawing with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a beautiful day, and see you soon. Thank you. Bye.